Just 19, she was handed over like property to a broken rancher with 5 wild children and no hope left in his eyes. Everyone in town pitied her, but no one expected that the girl they called helpless would soon transform that cursed ranch, heal 6 shattered hearts, and uncover a secret that would leave the whole valley speechless. Stay until the end, because what happened next shocked everyone. The dust storm rolled across the plains as the wagon stopped in front of the oldest ranch in Dry Creek Valley. The wooden fence leaned sideways, the barn roof sagged like tired shoulders, and weeds had swallowed half the yard. It looked less like a home and more like something waiting to die. 19-year-old Clara stepped down from the wagon clutching a small cloth bag, the only thing she owned. Her shoes were worn thin, and fear sat heavy in her chest. She had no parents left, no money, and nowhere else to go. When the town banker said the widowed rancher needed a wife and she needed shelter, the arrangement was made in less than an hour. No one asked what Clara wanted. The front door opened, and a tall man stepped out. His name was Elias Turner. He was 38, broad-shouldered, weathered by sun and grief. His face carried the silence of a man who had buried too much. Behind him stood 5 children. Ben, 14, stared with folded arms and open dislike. Martha, 12, held the youngest girl Rosie, who was only 4. Twins Samuel and Luke, both 9, peeked from behind the porch post. And little Rosie buried her face in Martha's dress. Elias gave a short nod. "You can come in." No smile. No welcome. Inside, the house was worse than the yard. Dishes stacked high. Dust on every shelf. Laundry piled in corners. The smell of old grief lived in the walls. "My wife died 2 years ago," Elias said flatly. "Since then, we do what we can." Ben muttered. "Barely." Clara looked around at the children's hollow faces and tired eyes. She knew this wasn't a marriage. It was survival. That first night, no one spoke at supper. Burnt beans sat on cracked plates. Rosie cried quietly because she missed her mother. Elias ate in silence. Ben shoved his chair back and walked out. Clara could have cried too. Instead, before sunrise the next morning, she tied back her hair and began cleaning. She scrubbed floors until her knees bled. She washed curtains stiff with dirt. She mended shirts, aired blankets, cleared years of clutter. Then she walked outside and attacked the weeds with bare hands. The twins watched from the porch. "Why were you doing all that?" Samuel asked. "Because homes can heal people," Clara replied. By the end of the week, the kitchen smelled of bread. The children had warm clothes folded neatly on their beds. The porch was swept clean. Flowers, wild ones she'd gathered, sat in jars on the table. Still, Ben hated her. "You're not our mother," he snapped one evening. Clara met his anger softly. "No. I'm not." "Then stop acting like you care." She paused. "Sometimes people care before they're allowed to." He had no answer, but his eyes flickered. Days turned into weeks. Clara learned each child's wounds. Martha carried too much responsibility and cried only at night. The twins fought because fighting was easier than feeling forgotten. Rosie woke screaming from dreams of her mother. Ben skipped chores and roamed town angry at the world. And Elias? Elias worked until dark because stopping meant remembering. One afternoon, Clara found him sitting alone in the barn holding an old blue ribbon. "She won first prize with the horses," he said quietly. "My wife." Clara sat beside him without speaking. After a long silence, Elias whispered, "I don't know how to be both father and mother." "You don't have to be," Clara said. "You just have to be here." It was the first time he looked at her not as an arrangement, but as a person. Then disaster struck. A wildfire sparked in the northern hills. Winds carried flames toward Dry Creek Valley. Ranchers rushed to protect livestock. Smoke darkened the sky. Elias and Ben rode to move cattle, but one horse returned riderless. Ben was missing. Panic tore through the ranch. Elias saddled another horse immediately, but Clara grabbed a rope, water sacks, and climbed up behind him. "No," Elias barked. Yes, Clara said firmly. He needs both of us. They rode through smoke so thick it burned the lungs. Flames licked the dry grasslands. Cattle thundered past in terror. Then they heard it. A cry. Ben was trapped in a ravine, his leg pinned beneath fallen timber, fire closing in around him. Elias jumped down, trying to lift the beam, but it wouldn't move. Clara crawled through smoke, wrapped cloth over Ben's face, and used the rope to lever the timber free. Move! She shouted. Ben screamed as they dragged him out. Flames roared behind them. They barely escaped. Back home, Clara cleaned Ben's burns and sat by his bed all night. Near dawn, the boy woke and whispered hoarsely, "Why'd you come back for me?" She smiled weakly. "Because that's what family does." Ben broke down crying for the first time since his mother died. From that day on, everything changed. He helped with chores. The twins followed him. Martha laughed again. Rosie slept peacefully holding Clara's hand. Even Elias began smiling. But weeks later, a stranger rode into town carrying papers. He claimed ownership of part of the Turner Ranch. The land, he said, had been secretly signed away years earlier to cover debts. If payment wasn't made in 30 days, the family would lose half their home. Elias was crushed. "I never knew," the town whispered again. The cursed ranch was doomed. But Clara remembered something. While cleaning months earlier, she had found an old ledger tucked inside a flour barrel. She'd kept it, thinking it might matter someday. Now it did. Inside were payment records proving Elias's late wife had fully repaid the debt in cash, but the lender never recorded it. The stranger was a fraud. At the courthouse, Clara presented the ledger before the judge and the whole town. Witnesses recognized the handwriting. The stranger fled in disgrace. Dry Creek Valley erupted in cheers. People who once pitied Clara now stood in stunned respect. The girl given away with nothing had saved the Turner family, their ranch, and their name. That evening, Elias gathered the children on the porch. "I was given help when I didn't deserve it," he said, voice shaking. "And all of you were given love when you'd stopped asking for it." He turned to Clara. "I cannot change how you came here. But if you choose to stay, stay because this is your home." Tears filled her eyes. Rosie ran first, hugging Clara's legs. Then the twins. Then Martha. Ben stood awkwardly before saying, "Ma, are you staying?" The word hit everyone like sunlight after years of storm. Clara dropped to her knees and held them all. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm staying." Months later, the ranch bloomed with new fences, healthy horses, laughter in every room, and fields greener than anyone remembered. And the people of Dry Creek Valley never forgot the lesson. Sometimes the person the world gives away becomes the very one who saves it all. If today's story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, even a small act of kindness can change someone's entire life. Red Heart.